played this. The second time we go back to A.
Here's where you need a piano player to play something. It's 302.
I can play some Chicklets Flow Stories. Got a couple of those memorized.
Come on, people. Let's get this show going on the road. Time to get it done. Here we go.
So first statement, if you could be bigger, and after that we pace ourselves. I don't know how much. See my person. We're ready. 1, 2, 3.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, and welcome to the commencement exercises of Cincinnati Hills Christian Academy. We are so excited to celebrate and confer the diplomas upon the class of 2024. It's been an incredible class which has had an exciting journey through Cincinnati Hills Christian Academy. There are 121 of them. They came into this building the first year after COVID. And so their high school journey has been an unusual one, but a strong one. And we have seen them shine both academically, athletically, artistically, as community, and as people who have led spiritual life. That has been an example for the classes that will follow. We're so thankful today for all the people who made this day possible. And first, I would like to thank those who are seated directly behind them, our faculty and staff. It is their tireless dedication, it's their love of students, their understanding of how Christ has created for us a world in which we are fully to engage. And they have led as examples, as teachers, and as mentors to this class. And so I would like for us to show our appreciation to our faculty for the role they have played in this day. We also owe a deep word of thanks and appreciation for parents, guardians, grandparents, aunts and uncles, relatives of all kinds who have come alongside these students to help them on this journey to bring them to this place today. We talk a lot at school here about how we are in a partnership and that we do not do this alone. And as you come alongside them as examples, as teachers, as mentors, and as spiritual leaders, you work alongside us to help raise up this generation of Christian leaders. We think of our parents who we partner with not as customers but as stakeholders who share in this enterprise of Christian education alongside us. And for all those others who have been invited here, it's because of the role and the significance you've played in these students' lives. And so we're glad that you are able to be with us here as we celebrate them. So today, you will get a glimpse of what Cincinnati Hills Christian Academy is about as we share what was important to instill in the lives of these students. And so this day is about all of you, and we are excited to celebrate through this ceremony. I would like to ask my colleague, Ms. Heather Wilkowski, to come forward to open with scripture reading and with prayer.
A reading from the book of Lamentations, chapter 3, verses 22 to 25. The Lord's loving kindness never ceases, and his compassion never fails. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. The Lord is my portion, says my soul. Therefore, I wait for him. The Lord is good to those who await him, to the person who seeks him. Please join me in prayer today as we begin the commencement ceremony. Lord, we thank you for the class of 2024 and all the families that are represented here today. We thank you for your never-ending compassion and faithfulness in our lives. We thank you for the hard work and dedication from these students who have persevered so diligently with their studies. We thank you for their parents and their grandparents who loved them and encouraged them along the way. May you be with us today as we honor them and celebrate their achievements. Amen. Please now welcome to the stage the salutatorian for the class of 2024, Will Treadway.
Hi, my name is Will Treadway, and I like to dance. Not, nec- not necessarily good dancing, I should say, but more a chaotic splurge of random moves, kicking, punching, and throwing myself everywhere. And some people may find this style weird, but it's a stress relief for me. I give myself to the moment and drown in the beat of the song. I forget the stress of school. I forget the stress of relationships. I forget the stress of life, and I live in the moment. Our lives are dominated by moments, decisions, victories, mistakes, and today we are met with yet another moment, this one of many feelings. This is a moment of congratulations, a moment of triumphs, a moment of reflection. We stand at a milestone along the path of our lives, and a milestone is none other than a reminder of what we have passed and what we approach. I urge you to stop at this milestone with me for a second and savor this moment. Forget the past and forget the future, and just feel yourself breathe. Feel yourself exist. We are alive and capable of so many great and terrible things. This is a gift. This life is a blessing from God. Now look back at the long, winding path of your life, or even just the past 4 years. What have you learned? What have you accomplished? What moments stand out to you as most memorable? Do you remember watching pre-recorded Mr. Kramer in a labyrinth of plexiglass? Do you remember dancing in the puddle that was sophomore year homecoming? I'm glad I missed that one. Do you remember Reno making that absurdly satisfying catch to win the game against Roger Bacon? Do you remember Brandon McConnell being crowned as prom king? These are just random moments that occurred to me throughout my CHCA memory, but assuredly you remember much deeper, more vivid, more heart-striking moments that you can all but taste in the back of your mind. Treasure those moments. Learn from those moments. And surely you can see in your past figures that are influential. Parents and teachers and coaches and friends. I think the speech is 10% a product of me and 90% a product of everyone who has built me up. Who's built up, hammered, chiseled, and sanded my writing skills, my experiences, and perhaps most profoundly, myself. Think of who these people are in your life, and remember to thank them, if you can, at some point today. And now, at this milestone, look forward to the haze of possibilities that lie in your future. What do you envision yourself to be? What moments do you imagine in your future? What moments do you want to experience? Moments of success in finance or in career, moments of marriage or family, spiritual moments, moments of awe. In other words, what future memories do you want to make? Whatever memories you desire to have, perhaps reflect your own values and desires. Consider these, and under the guidance and will of God, climb mountains and search valleys in pursuit of these moments. Prepare for them, and don't throw away any opportunities to achieve them. In reality, there's very little advice I can give you, a random 17-year-old standing up here, and let's be honest, you'll probably forget everything I say. But I can at least encourage you to hit a hard pause in life for a second and reflect at this milestone. Learn from your past, look to your future, but most importantly, savor the present, cry its tears, dance to its music, and live in this blessing that we call life. Thank you.
Before I begin, please join me in a moment of silence for our friend Jonathan Jackson, the member of our graduating class we all wish was here today. Thank you. As Dr. Pohl likes to say, welcome to the Academy. While planning this speech a week ago, I checked in with some friends who had already graduated from different schools, and I asked them if they remembered their valedictorian speech, which of course for them had only been a few hours before. They did not. Agreeing with Will, I guess that takes the pressure off, but hopefully something I say today is of value. Congratulations to the Cincinnati Hills class of 2024. Today we celebrate not only the work we have done to reach this point, but also the indispensable support of CHCA's faculty, administration, and staff. Please know that you have deeply affected our lives for the better. On behalf of the class of 2024, I would like to say that we all strive to be worthy of you and your investment in us. To those who deserve more recognition than the graduating class, our parents and guardians, siblings, and extended families, thank you for your love and support. Commencement is only the culmination of our high school careers, but for you, it is the result of 17 or 18 years of sacrifice, both physically, emotionally, and financially. As we come together today to celebrate this milestone of our commencement, I have 3 areas of reflection to challenge us all with, myself included. This has been a year of change for us all, which will undoubtedly continue in the next few months. The first is context. There is a distinction between this year and the next. It is now up to every one of us to make the most of life. There will no longer be one predefined path, and CHCA has provided a foundation, but the rest is up to us. College alone should not be a crude attempt at finding this normalcy. Those headed to college will soon be yet another freshman student in an auditorium, and those headed straight to a career will be at the bottom of the office ladder or out in the field gaining new fundamentals. Today marks an end, but also a beginning. Today life resets. This uncertainty should be embraced. No matter what anyone says, our lived experience is anything but insignificant. We are the class of 2024, the last high school class to be affected by COVID-19, to know plexiglass, remote learning, and the pain of lost loved ones. We recognize the difficulties facing our society and world, the inadequacies of our divided political system, the campus protests sweeping our nation, the growing climate disaster, and the systemic inequalities that our society has long overlooked. If it has not already, today our complacency ends. There can be no more complaints about broken institutions. As young adults, we too are responsible. We too are required to advance towards a better future. After all, we must recognize the context into which we have been born. My second challenge is identity. I stand before you as someone who has chosen to define myself through academics, but we have all chosen something, whether sports, service, fine arts, robotics, or even social popularity. I entered this year with a defined career path, desired college, and planned future, all of which have changed. And in my case, I even changed my college decision this past week. I would like to provide a warning. Do not let what you want to be tomorrow define who you are today. Each one of us has more than career goals, more than Instagram followers, more than income, and more than status. Our identity is divinely inspired, so do not taint it by idolizing the limitations of mortality. Today marks an end, but also a beginning. Today, your identity resets. You may choose what aspects of yourself to keep. Your roommate does not necessarily know what you did in high school, and neither will your classmates and coworkers. Unless, of course, you're rooming with someone you know. But even then, do they really know you? High school has provided lessons to learn from and mistakes that do not have to be repeated. Though this may be the first time you enter a major milestone in life, it will not be the last. Remember that your identity is in your control, as it has always been, and it will always be unique. My final challenge is connection, perhaps a bit ironic for the remote student you met freshman year as a face projected onto a whiteboard. As high school graduates inventing grand visions for our future, it is easy for us to focus purely on college and careers. Instead, remember that what brings you value should not be superficial. Our world is composed of human beings and not accomplishments. Once again, today marks an end, but also a beginning. Remember the connections you have formed along the way. As we reflect upon our years here at CHCA, ignore trivialities like grades, GPA, awards, college admissions, comparisons, and drama from freshman year that somehow still has not been forgotten. Look around at the people you have met along the way. You are a better person not because of what you have done, but because of how you have chosen to interact with others. As I conclude, I know that we all, parents and faculty included, want to know the future of this graduating class. Ultimately, I do not know the places you will go, the people you will see, and the things that you will do. Despite this uncertainty, I would encourage you to find solace in your own self-determination. To quote Steve Jobs, "Everything around you that you call life was made up by people that were no smarter than you. You can change it, you can influence it, you can build your own things that other people can use. Once you learn that, you'll never be the same again." Thank you.
I'll swim through the sea. I'll climb to the mountain tops. Won't you come follow me?
I'll take time to notice all that I see.
And after I've come so far, you know where I'll be. I'll fly away, fly away, fly away home. I'll fly away, fly away home.
My life is a vision, that's how it should be. The world is a canvas, and the choices are free.
At the end of the journey, when all is complete, they'll all wonder where I've gone, but you know where I'll be. I'll fly away home. I'll fly away home.
Our dreams last forever, for all that we know.
The roads come together, and that's where we'll go. We'll fly away home.
At Cincinnati Hills Christian Academy, as a Christ-centered institution, we seek to be a learning community as well as a faith community, a place where students do not learn in a vacuum, but where they are continually challenged to consider what learning means in a context where we attempt to follow Christ in everything we do. As students matriculate to universities and colleges across the country and world, we want them to continue growing and forming the mind of Christ, to think not in terms of building toward a job or a career, but in terms of finding a holy calling, a vocation in God's kingdom. This is our mission as a school. So it's with great pleasure that I introduce to you Dr. John Eckert. He's a professor of educational leadership and the Lyndon Robert Koppel Endowed Chair for Christians in School Leadership at Baylor University. Dr. Eckert came to Baylor in 2019 with over 2 decades of experience in education. He taught and coached intermediate and middle school students outside of Chicago and Nashville for 12 years. After completing his doctorate at Vanderbilt University in 2008, he was selected as a teaching ambassador fellow at the U.S. Department of Education, where he worked in both the Bush and Obama administrations on teaching quality issues. Prior to joining Baylor, he prepared teachers at Wheaton College. His research interests include collective leadership, teaching effectiveness, evaluation and strategic compensation to enhance that effectiveness, and science education. Dr. Eckert has conducted research for the U.S. Department of Education, the Carnegie Foundation, the National Network of State Teachers of the Year, the National Institute for Excellence in Teaching, and the Center for Teaching Quality. He has many publications, journal articles, white papers. His most recent book, Just Teaching, Feedback, Engagement, and Well-Being for Each Student, which came out in 2023, was one of those books where as soon as I read it, I thought of about 5 people that I knew in teaching that I had to order a copy for. He has presented white papers on Capitol Hill at the National Press Club. He's been invited to present all over the US, Australia, Canada, Windsor Castle, in Oman at a G8 Broader Middle East Summit for Education Ministers, and recently at a Global Education Summit where he was the only American of the keynote speakers. Bringing this whole thing even closer to home for us is to have a scholar and teacher of education. John is also in the 2nd year serving on the CHCA Board of Trustees, helping CHCA to continue growing and living out our mission as a Christian school of excellence. And for students, for you, maybe even more close to home, Dr. Eckert has also the claim of fame of being the cousin of our own beloved math teacher, Terry Parker. So with this list of accomplishments, it is a great honor for us to have Dr. Eckert here with us today. So would you please welcome to the podium Dr. John Eckert.
I think that's the longest introduction I've ever had, but thank you, Dean. That's very kind. The most important part there is that my cousin is Terry Parker. So I've known about CHCA for decades, and the reason why I'm on the board down in Texas, why would you be on the board for a school in Cincinnati? I legitimately believe Cincinnati Hills Christian Academy is one of the best Christian schools in the country, if not the best. I think Dean is one of the godliest school leaders that I've met. And Terry Parker is certainly the best math teacher in the country. So there you have it. So it's a huge blessing to be here today. My brief remarks today come from a lesson that I learned from a 19-year-old a couple of summers ago. So how many of you graduating seniors took Spanish here at CHCA? Just quick show of hands. All right. So my son had an amazing high school Spanish teacher, and so he's now a senior at Baylor. He has 4 majors because he didn't want to finish early. So one of those majors was Spanish because of this. So he did a study abroad trip in Madrid, Spain. He'd never been out of the country before. And this is the amazing gift that educators give to students. They broaden their perspectives and give them the courage to step into different cultures that he had never experienced before. So he went as a 19-year-old to Madrid, and we had never taken our daughters. I have 2 daughters that are younger than he is, but they'd never been out of the country either. So we decided to visit him in June of 2022. And we went at a time where this event has been going on in Pamplona, Spain for over 500 years. For some reason, people from all over the world think it's a great idea to crowd thousands of people into cobblestone streets that are about 20 feet wide as they release 12 1,500-pound bulls from the walls of the city to run into the bull ring. And people run with the bulls. I just want to be clear, there's no running with. The bulls are running and you're trying to avoid them. Although some people, because they've been up all night partying and running then at 8 a.m. in the morning, want to get as close to the bulls as they can. My wife planned the trip, I want to be clear. She planned the trip. And the first day we were going to watch, this was our vantage point. This is a third-floor balcony overlooking what is known as Dead Man's Curve. It's known as Dead Man's Curve for a reason. This is my smartphone footage, actual good use of a smartphone here, of what's going to happen as these bulls come around the corner on cobblestones. So just keep your eyes on that poster of San Fermin. Right in front of it, there's some somewhat tragic activity. I just want to warn you, no one dies in this. But I'm watching this with my 19-year-old son, hoping that this will penetrate his underdeveloped prefrontal cortex so that we don't have to run the next day, because that's his plan. So here we go. So parents, I just want you to know your children are much more prepared for college than my son was. The looks on their faces were like, that's the appropriate response. I look over at my son, and his response, that was awesome. As the man is being carried off the street with blood pouring from his head after having had 6,000 pounds of bull run over him. So for the next 24 hours, I have this dilemma. Do I do the stupidest thing I've ever done? Or do I, as a father, go with him in the hopes that I could possibly do something if a bull begins to run over my son? And so it's this terrible dilemma. And so the next morning at 7:56 a.m., we're on the streets. Here we are, all right? And it's begun to sink in with my son what we're about to do. So just look at the energy and adrenaline coursing through his body in just a moment as he realizes what's about to happen. And we are literally 4 minutes away from a gun going off and hearing 48 hooves on cobblestones running right up behind us with drunk and hungover people all around us. It's Mardi Gras with bulls.
Ben, how are you feeling in the streets about 4 minutes away? Little jittery? It's real now, we're definitely here, but let's see how this goes.
Okay, parents, you know that smile. That is not a smile of happiness or satisfaction. That is a smile of this is happening and this is all I can do. All right. So I have to take you back to the picture my wife took the day before on Dead Man's Curve. I will finish the story before I wrap up my remarks, but you have to see the picture that my wife took, because you've already mentioned you all were in 8th grade when COVID hit. And when I saw this picture, I was like, this is what this has felt like for educators and students for the last 4 years. Here it is. All right, so that was the video you saw. This is the still frame. So I started naming the bulls because I just felt like this really resonated for educators and for students as well. So there's 2020, 2021, 2022, and 2023. And then I had some extra bulls, so I started naming them how it's felt a little bit. And I've shared this all over the world, and this has resonated not just in the United States. And so here we have students. You're the poor guy that got run over by the 4 bulls, and then teachers only slightly better off. They're in the fetal position. All right. So as I go through my remarks, there's really only one word that I need you to remember today, because it's already been mentioned by your salutatorian and valedictorian. You're not going to remember very much, but it's just one word, which is run, all right? All right? And run well, all right? So Hebrews 12:1 is not referring to running with the bulls, but it's a great commencement day passage that fits nicely. So the passage goes like this, if you don't know it. Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders us, the sin that so easily entangles us, and run with perseverance the race marked out for us. Right? That's what we're called to. And to do that, we need to do three things. The first one is remember, all right? You've had amazing years at CHCA. That does not mean everything has been easy or fun. Certainly, learning behind plexiglass, learning on Zoom is not fun. But I want you sometime today to take a moment and think about some aspect of your time at CHCA where you suffered well. It might be in a gym. It might be in a theater. It might be as you practice an instrument. It might be in a class. But where have you suffered well so that you've been able to experience the joy that comes from suffering well? Where have you been pushed beyond what you thought you could do so that you could become more of who you were created to be? Think about that, because you've had so many people pouring into you to help you become more of who God created you to be. So please remember. Now, that does not have to be a morose or sad thing. Maya Angelou says, determined to live life with flair and laughter. Laughter comes when we suffer with each other and we know what we've been through. Your valedictorian and salutatorian brought up memories of things that were not easy. Certainly it's great to celebrate the good times, but we also have to celebrate the ways we are shaped through suffering, because Hebrews 12:2 says, for the joy set before him, Christ endured the cross. He did that for us so that we can have eternity with him. So first thing, remember. Second, unleash. Tim Keller, who passed away about a year ago, pastor in Manhattan, prolific writer and thinker, said this: every day I have to unleash my imagination about what Christ did for me on the cross. That is not just in the morning, but that's throughout the day. It's very hard to be negative, critical, and judgmental when you remember that the creator of the universe had to come to earth to die for you. It's hard to be that kind of hypocritical person when we remember that. We don't become more like Christ by trying to become more like Christ. We remember what he did for us, and then we allow his grace and love to flow through us out of his abundance to others. So on a regular basis, whether it's every morning, throughout the day, live in that moment of unleashing your imagination of what Christ did for you. The last thing is, you have to say no to a lot of good things. Commencement is a celebration of all you've said yes to and all you've done. That is certainly true. I am so grateful that the people who planned your graduation said no to having it outside. I say that because just last week, I was celebrating my daughter, who's a senior in high school. She graduated from a large high school in Texas where we had 692 graduates, all graduating outside in a 9,000-seat football stadium, again, Texas. That's our high school football stadium, by the way, in 90-degree heat and 92% humidity. So thank you to whoever planned this for the air conditioning. You may be too cold. I'm very grateful, right? So that's not really what I mean by saying no, but David Brooks writes that a life of commitment means saying thousands of no's for the sake of a few precious yeses. If you're going to live a life that you unleash joy, that you see what Christ has done for you, you have to say no to many things, because each yes you give is precious. So as you look at the next years ahead, be careful with your yeses. Here's the good news. God has already said no to a lot of things for you. This is a very non-commencement piece of advice, but you all cannot be anything you want to be. God's already said no to a lot of those things for you. And I'll give you an example for myself first, and then a couple that might fit for you all. No matter how much I desire to be a U.S. Olympic gymnast, at 6 feet 4 inches tall and 220 pounds, it doesn't matter how hard I work, I'm not going to be an Olympic gymnast. Right? I also probably don't have a career in modeling. There are many things that are just not going to be there for me. For you all, if you went through Terry Parker's math class and you don't love math and you don't love kids, you probably shouldn't be a math teacher. If you went through the amazing entrepreneurship program you have at CHCA, which again I believe is the best entrepreneurship program in the country, in any of the Christian schools that I've worked with, and you don't want to be an entrepreneur, that's great. That's one less thing you have to consider being. So find the things where you have gifts and skills, and over the next few years, lean into developing skills that will make you valuable to others, because there is joy in a life lived for others. So lean into those things, and don't set all kinds of goals. Set habits. Pick habits that will make you more of who you want to be, because those habits each day accrue to amazing things as you apply spiritual disciplines to become more of who God created you to be, as you get filled up with His Spirit. The second thing is lean into where your identity is, not into what you want to will yourself into being. Your identity is not in your performance. You've all been successful. You're at CHCA. It's an amazing high school. You've graduated. But that's not where your value is. Your identity is in Christ. And that is where you always have to return to. It is not anywhere else. Anything else will be unstable and will not be anything that gives you joy for a long-term component of your life. So please keep those things in mind. So those three letters, R-U-N, remember, unleash, and know. That's all that I really want you to take away. Now, I do have to get you back to the goal of running with the Bulls, because I ran very well that day. It was the fastest I've ever run a quarter of a mile. And I jumped over 3 hungover people that had fallen down in the road. A bull, the closest a bull got to me was about 3 feet behind. I thought they were all by, and then all of a sudden there was one more. And I was like, oh, and I jumped quickly out of the way. I hopefully did not run anyone over. But you're not really thinking very much at that point. So the goal is to get into the stadium. So here is the stadium. They take the bulls in and they pen them up, and you just have a minute or two before they release more bulls. So I took this video very quickly. There are 20,000 people in there at 8:04 in the morning cheering, not for you, but for the bulls. Here it is.
How do you feel, Ben? Exhilarated. That was insane.
You could probably use both of those two terms for your time at CHCA. I can guarantee you the next 4 years are going to feel like that as well. It's going to be both exhilarating and insane. But because I'm in the arena there, that reminded me of Teddy Roosevelt's speech, the Man in the Arena speech, which was based on a book he wrote in 1899 called The Strenuous Life. And for 12 years, when I taught middle school students and had coached, every kid in my class had to come to the front of the class and after having memorized this quote, say it in front of everyone. So here it is. This is my encouragement to you. Far better it is to dare mighty things, to win glorious triumphs, even though checkered by failure, than to take rank with those poor spirits who neither enjoy much nor suffer much, because they live in the gray twilight that knows neither victory nor defeat. Now, that was 1899. In 2024, I'm not sure there really is a gray twilight. Either we are going to be the light of Christ to the people around us, or I think we're going to be living in a world of darkness. And that's not a discouraging reminder. Remember, Christ came and suffered for us for the joy set before him. There is joy in representing Christ in everything we do. And it's not our light. It's his light that we reflect to others. And so we don't have anything to fear, because 2 Timothy 1:7 says, "For God gave us not a spirit of fear, but of love and power and self-control." So the work's already done. I pray that you will run well And please know everyone in this room is going to be praying that you do the same thing. Thank you for letting me be with you today, and congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Eckert. It truly is such an honor to have you with us here today. Now for the candidate presentation for the class of 2024. Dr. Nicholas, I am pleased to present to you the class of 2024 who have completed all the requirements of the Ohio Board of Education and have met all of the expectations of Cincinnati Hills Christian Academy.
Emmett Jason Lumen, valedictorian, summa cum laude. William Joseph Treadway, salutatorium, summa cum laude. Mia Isabel Adkins, summa cum laude. Uluwatobiloba Ulumide Aina, cum laude. Addison Elizabeth Anderson, summa cum laude. Peyton Maxwell Bausong Andre, summa cum laude. Mark Christian Answeeney. Courtney Claire Arnold. Flora Isabel Baker. Rebecca Sue Brigman Biggerstaff, magna cum laude. Efrain Jose Bonilla, cum laude. Sarah Bornavali. Isabella Christine Brink, summa cum laude. Nicholas Henry Broughton, summa cum laude. London Olivia Brown. Alexandra Rose Bruner, cum laude. Lindsay Elise Carlson, magna cum laude. Andrew James Carter, summa cum laude. Carolyn Young A. Cha, summa cum laude. Maria del Carmen Cortina Atias, summa cum laude. Chase Michael Crimmins, cum laude. Jonathan Caleb Mark Crum III. Jasper Thomas Daniels, cum laude. William Kaiser Davis. Jacqueline Grace Dempsey, summa cum laude. Lauren K. Detling. Madison Renee Dietrich, summa cum laude. Marlena Marie Depker, summa cum laude. Kaveri Mora Joyce Eastwarren, summa cum laude. Maxwell Joseph Ehlers, summa cum laude. Joshua Michael Eng. Abigail Grace Fansett, summa cum laude. Morgan Lou Federley, magna cum laude. Margaret Barrow Fasenmeyer, summa cum laude. Piper Jean Fisher, magna cum laude. Allison Kathleen Frisbee. Anna Kate Gage, summa cum laude. Austin James Gibson. Madeline Walker Glenn, summa cum laude. Alexander Michael Getch, summa cum laude. Michael Logan Gould, cum laude. Ella Nicole Hansel, summa cum laude. Joshua Nathan Hayden, summa cum laude. Natalie Jane Heimlich, summa cum laude. Lloyd Charles Hodges. Natalie Julianne Hudepol, summa cum laude. Chandler Victoria Lee Huffman. Grant Hood Huffstetler. Jaden Eniola Idris, magna cum laude. Victoria Islas, magna cum laude. Andrew Michael Jordan, cum laude. Claire Elise Juffer, summa cum laude. Brian James Jung, summa cum laude. Jacob Paul Casemeyer, summa cum laude. Javahir Kazahojaev, magna cum laude. Jacob Cole Kasuth, summa cum laude. Kennedy Grace Krieger, cum laude. Nicholas Michael Kushan. Ryder David Lakes. Hannah Marie Lehman, cum laude. Jeffrey Scott Levin, summa cum laude. Cameron Joseph Long, magna cum laude. Charlton Counts Lunioski in absentia, Mercer Lewis Lunioski in absentia. Davina Mansurova. Jonathan Gregory Matzi. Brandon Michael McConnell. Good job, bud. Callie Hannah McFawn. Noah Richard McRedmond, summa cum laude. Joel Matthew McSwain, summa cum laude. Ann Matlin Miller, cum laude. Andrew Lawson Moffitt, cum laude. Samantha Ann Myers, summa cum laude. Tanner Cohen Nix, cum laude. Olivia Riley No, summa cum laude. Ian Alexander Northwood. William Henry Oberson. Zachary Daniel O'Connell, magna cum laude. Ava Bailey Overdeck, summa cum laude. Annabelle Solmay Panos, magna cum laude. John Isaiah Petty, magna cum laude. Madeline Grace Pickup. Eliza Jane Plum, summa cum laude. Madeline Rose Poland, magna cum laude. Catherine Bell Reagan. Gordon Cleet Reinberger. Colin Nicholas Reller. Paige Deneen Reniker, magna cum laude. Gavin Edward Reynolds. Robin Scout Richard, summa cum laude. Sophia Daniela Roberts, magna cum laude. Reno Carl Lewis Rome, cum laude. Peyton Rose Rogers, summa cum laude. Carson Henry Reuter, summa cum laude. Riley Elizabeth Sauer, magna cum laude. Lorena Sophia Chardong. Abigail Rose Scheib, summa cum laude. Ryan Michael Schisler, magna cum laude. May Elizabeth Schrantz, summa cum laude. Beata Sedova. Keegan Clementine Xingsheng, summa cum laude. Donna Nicole Shoup, summa cum laude. Kent Russell Sedaris, summa cum laude. Felicity Lynn Sue, summa cum laude. Lania Nicole Ray. Abigail Grace Stokes, summa cum laude. Elizabeth Mackey Thomas, summa cum laude. Rebecca Claire Tipton, summa cum laude. Colton Mitchell Trees, summa cum laude. Kyla Nicole Turvey, summa cum laude. Ava K. Van Kuren. Lucille Antoinette Vest, cum laude. Ryan Danford Wells. Joanna Kate Williams, summa cum laude. Lillian Celeste Winkler, summa cum laude. Sophia Evangeline Winkler, summa cum laude. Micah Reed Wisman, summa cum laude. Charlie Julia Wright, summa cum laude. Skylar Benjamin Yoder, cum laude. Kate Elizabeth Ziegenfuss, magna cum laude. Delaney Rose Zerker, summa cum laude.
Class of 2024, please stand. Having completed all requirements of the state of Ohio and of Cincinnati Hills Christian Academy, I confer on you your diplomas. You may now follow your class leads to turn your tassels. With the class still standing, I'd like to ask Mr. Baker to come to close us in prayer.
Please pray with me. Father, thank you for the opportunity to be in your presence. We have been reminded of what your Son did for us on the cross, and part of that benefit of him going to the cross is us being here with you. We ask that we would indeed remember what your Son did for us on the cross as we leave from this place to go forward, and that we would reflect his light in all the places we've gone. And Lord, thank you so much for this class of 2024, the efforts, the energies, and the enthusiasm they brought to us each and every day. We thank you for them and praise you for them and ask your blessing upon them as they move forward from this place. In Jesus' name, amen.